Someone is stuck on an old version of you. Immediately, you left when I needed you came out. You changed my life forever. You changed me for... Wow. Okay, 2 cards about changing somebody forever. They are so in their head about past memories. Trying to figure out why you really left. Or why they have no contact with you now. Really sad. They want closure. They think you moved on and didn't even need closure. But they're replaying old memories. Like rehearsing is what I get. Like, almost like it's a play. They're really stuck. They don't realize people can change or mature or go through things. And it's really good memories, at least for them. Maybe not for you. But for them, these are really good memories, like fond memories. Okay, I just moved my desk closer so I stopped dropping cards on the floor. Okay, I got security and you need to move on. Like, you had to move on. You did move on. And they can't. You gave them some really good times. Like, really good. Take that how it resonates. But you're not that person anymore. And some people just can't face that because they think people never change. No, people do change. Are you the same person you were when you were a kid? Even adults can change. People can mature, can outgrow things. Biggest mistake. The biggest mistake they made was letting you go, was letting you outgrow this. It's really a very specific behavior pattern. Stuff I really can't talk about online. Physical for a lot of you. I mean, they really miss it. Like, they're going through specific memories, very specific. Wake-up call. See, they wonder if they should change too. They're actually pretty impressed with your changes. And they're starting to see them as real. If this person isn't currently in your life, and they are for some of you, they're around, like in passing. Or more than passing. Wow. Some of you are still really in contact, but things have changed. Like, and you could tell they're trying to get you to have a conversation, trying to bring up stuff. It might be time for you to just confront it head on and be like, I'm not doing that again. That part of my life's over. You're going to have to get out of this mentality. But they're jealous. Like, they want to change too, but they don't know how. Because there are things about you that they admire that they're like, that changed, but they wish this hadn't changed, you know? Like, they want to pick and choose, like an a la carte menu, where if you could just be like this, but not this, you don't have to listen to them. You don't need their opinion. And you might not be in contact, but they're watching you closely, keeping tabs on you through friends, through mutual acquaintances. Still fell on the floor. Even though I moved my desk, still fell on the floor. Not noble. Holding you back. Not ready to give up. Okay, here's what's going through my head. And that's how this works for me. I get reminded of stuff that I definitely wasn't thinking about before. Like a lot of us, I have autism or other neurodivergent tendencies as well. Some of us, we don't think like other people, okay? And I'm getting reminded of times, and it's happened a lot, where I'll tell people I used to do such and such. Not realizing what they're hearing is that I would still do that. But when I say I used to, it means I used to. It means I'm not doing that now. I've been through a lot of things. A lot of us just like to experience life or have been through stuff just for the sake of going through it, I think. I don't really know why. It's like we're just here to collect experiences and learn from them. And there are certain things I've told people because they asked, and now I wouldn't do that. Now I realize I'm like, if a person's asking me this, it's because they had some reason, you know, but I'm just trying to be polite and answer their questions. And it doesn't hit me till later until I finally have a blow up conversation where I'm like, why are you asking me this? I wouldn't do that again. You're asking about some weird thing that happened to me, and it's because it's for their own benefit. And it's just that kind of energy. They might not realize maybe when whatever happened between you, you were going through something. It was a weird phase in your life, especially if you're ever going through divorce. Even if it was a divorce you wanted, it's still a weird thing to go through divorce. Or some kind of big breakup or a move. I swear I think temporary insanity is a thing. For everybody. For everybody. I don't care who you are or how sound you think your mind is. When you're going through something, you change. Like, you do or say things you wouldn't do or say again. Some of us are more prone to this than others. Like, if I go back through my notes occasionally, like I'll write down something I'm going through in my journal on my laptop, and I'll find stuff from several years ago. I'm like, wow, is that where I was? I can't explain why I thought that or said that, really. Except that I grew, or I was learning. Everything's a learning experience. And perhaps those of us like this are the weirdos, okay? But you learn, you grow, you become more confident. Or like I said, you just grow. Like, I honestly can't imagine doing the same thing over and over again. I swear my life does a complete 180 every few years because I get bored. But anyway, this is someone who's going back through the past and might be just bringing it up. Like, and just out of politeness, you're answering questions. Be careful with that. Be careful with that because people see it as a job resume. Even online, I used to share stuff. Example, I've talked about like my business experience because I used to work in corporate America. Used to. Okay. I have too much PTSD for that now. But some people, when they heard that, they think I'm looking for a job in accounting. No, I have too much PTSD to do that now. And no, I don't want to talk about it beyond that. I'm just saying that's the energy this is giving. It's like someone's really clinging to an old version of you or saying stuff like, oh, I wish I knew you then. May they find what they're looking for, okay? But it's not you. And you didn't do anything wrong. I'm telling you, I'm getting that just massively, is that you're answering questions or talking about old stories that you would never do again. And I think the reason I'm more prone to talking about that and letting it go and seeing it as the past is because I've been in 12-step groups and been in support groups with people. And that's the kind of stuff you talk about there. You talk about the past. I mean, people talk all the time about stuff they did when they were drunk or something. It doesn't mean they're going to do it again, but that's why it's AA or NA or whatever. Because the other people there know that. However, I can see, like, and this is just an example for me because for you it may not be about talking about it online. People don't get it. If they've never been in a support group, because that's sort of the mentality I brought to social media when I first started doing social media a few years ago, was the support group 12-step meeting mentality, which is you talk about the past, but it's the past. Like, I had someone who was really upset with me because they were trying to pay me a lot of money to do like business consulting. I'm like, I don't do that anymore. The little nuggets of stuff I want to talk about online, I talk about online, but I don't do that anymore. If I feel like talking about it, I'll talk about it, but that's in the past. But some people don't see it that way because they want you to fit their mold. Like, this is someone who really has an agenda. They're fishing for information. Fishing for information. Fishing for memories. Trying to get you to promise to do something, and it's like, I'm never doing that again. Unfortunately, like I said, outside of 12-step meetings and stuff like that, people don't get it. They don't get it. And those of us who actually have been around that, I consider us fortunate because it's healing. A lot of people who might be saying this stuff, they probably need a 12-step meeting. And I don't even mean like addiction related. I just mean a support group because it's very freeing to sit there and hear other people tell their terrible stories because it makes you feel not so bad. Support groups will do that too. And I'm talking about like support groups. Like, I've been in ones where you sign non-disclosure, confidentiality agreements, that you'll never talk about it. Or if you do, you'll talk about it in such an anonymous way, only to help other people, that it would never be leaked back to anyone, because that's really the only safe way to do it. When you start giving out names and dates and all this stuff, no. But This person, their past version of you is holding you back. And their intentions aren't good. Very selfish. Like, they don't care what it does to you. And I hate to say this, but some of them don't hold you in the highest regard. What I mean is they're saying some terrible things behind your back, but they say that about everybody. Pay attention to the way people talk about other people. That's how they're talking about you. You know? And you don't have to be friends with everybody. I'm really getting this as someone that you're not going to miss. You don't have to be friends with everybody. You can send them love from afar. But they are stuck. Really clinging to this. Let me see what else. And by the way, if my eyes glitch, I had somebody on YouTube leave 3 comments this morning saying her eyes glitch at whatever time. I use a filter. It's called Beauty App. And no, I'm not paid to promote it. And I will continue to use it because it saves me time with my makeup and lighting. And there are times I've done full videos without even turning it on, and I couldn't even tell the difference. Because there's an option where I can turn it off. Anyway, if you see my eyes glitching, it looks like I have 2 sets of eyelashes or something, it's a filter. Otherwise, I would spend forever doing my makeup and trying to get my lighting just right. So, having said that, emotional exhaustion. Wow. Are they emotionally exhausting you? That is the key. Okay, look, not the one. I really am just getting that it's time for whatever this friendship is to come to an end. It's run its course. Guess what came out as I said that? Big changes. I need to turn the camera down here so you can see the cards come out. I'm sorry, I'm not used to using a desk. Have you thought about ending this friendship, whatever it is? If not, it's time to think about it. Because they're not willing to change, and I'm just getting like they want to drag you down to the gutter. You don't have to live in the gutter. Afraid to contact you. Chose someone else. Secret admirer. Thinking of you. See, they don't want to choose someone else. And some of them are not afraid to contact you except in certain situations. Like, I just got that there was an emergency or something, and anytime they do come in to contact you, like, are you okay? Or asking about a family member, you know, they might have a legit reason for contacting you. But they always bring up this other stuff. Like, seriously, I had someone in my life a few years ago, just like that, who was asking me questions, and I'm like, why are they asking me all this stuff? And then finally, the truth came out. I really don't want to get into detail about what it was about. I'm just going to say they thought it was new and exciting. And I realized that's why, and that's the phrase they use. They're like, it's new and exciting to me. And I'm like, well, it's old and gross to me. And that's when I realized I had to cut this person off because they were trying, I don't know what they were trying to do. But it wasn't going to happen. People can change. Things can run their course. Haven't you ever, like, eaten enough of a food or something that you're just like, it used to be your favorite food, but now you can't stand it anymore? You know, I wonder if some people aren't like that. I just assume everybody's like that, but they're secretly admiring something about you. That's the crazy thing. It's like this gutter life. Like someone who just wants to drag you down and use you for their purposes. Let them choose someone else. They have already. But it's not like you even wanted to be chosen. I'm telling you, I think a lot of you, because you're a collective that thinks a lot like I do, we go through life, even though we maybe have been through some terrible things, we still go through life kind of innocent, naive to an extent. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's actually a good thing. It just comes from people pleasing. So when people are asking you questions, you want to answer them. You don't have to answer them. And if they keep being nosy and asking you questions, cut them off. They don't deserve access to that version of you. And if they're still thinking of you in that way, that's on them. It doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter what they think. It's time to make new friends, new acquaintances. Let's see what else. Advice about this. What should you focus on instead? How should you handle this? Like, there's a reason for that you're going through this. Oh, look. Earth Angel. No reason to doubt. And the conversations, whatever they are, might be making you feel bad. They might not even be recent. They might be making you feel bad or whatever. Look, that's a sign right there. If the conversations are causing you to doubt yourself, causing you to feel like you have to lapse into an old version of you, or even giving you trauma, like giving you PTSD because you're like, I don't want to talk about this. You don't have to talk about it. Some people are just curious. They have no life. Or they're not busy enough. Some people just aren't busy enough. And if you starve them, if you don't feed them, they'll go away. They'll move on to someone else. I mean, they might always have this version of you in their head and be asking stuff about you, and it could be offensive. But, you know, that's just the unfortunate truth, is some people are only ever going to think of you as that version, just like people you grew up with or something. It's like you may not be that person at all, or you may have had to mask your way through life. The version of you that they're asking about or that they knew could have been a mask, because we do that for survival. But you don't have to be stuck there, and you don't have to keep thinking about it. That's the thing. They keep making you think about this stuff. Over. Okay? You're allowed to move on. They can think what they want, let the rumors fly, whatever. That's on them. That is on them. It's a test. It's all just a test. Last card. You make your own decisions. See, that's what this goes back to, is someone's trying to make a decision for you. Like I talked about the person a few years ago for me. Ugh. And it's happened more than once. Like I said, it's because I'm too polite at times, or I'm not so much anymore. But would answer questions, tell stories about the past. You don't have to do that. You're writing your story all the time. And any time you keep telling these old past stories, you are rewriting that script, rewriting that story, solidifying it more. You don't have to do that. You can move on. You don't need anybody's permission. You don't need validation from anyone. Anyway, do not let them make a decision for you. You make your own decisions. It is spoken, it is written, and so it is. Amen.